Pokemon Show live. I'm Brandon.
I'm Brian.
And we're here in Portland's living room.
Yes, Portland's living room, downtown Portland. We're at the Pioneer Square. We're going to be doing our show from the square. So if you're listening live, I don't know if you are, because I didn't tweet out links.
Come stalk us.
Come say hi. Yes, I play a little Pokemon though.
We're sitting on these comfy IKEA chairs with some Starbucks. They don't officially sponsor us, but they kind of do now. We'd love some product endorsements, wouldn't we?
Yes.
You've done that gig before. What do you get with your Red Bull? Do they send you like cases? Like, here's a promotional case?
Red Bull hooks me up, sends me like cases. Oh yeah.
And it's considered like a promotional. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like you walk around drinking Red Bull, always in your hand. You're in pictures with it. It's just like, well, Brian drinks it, so you should drink it too.
I want Starbucks to sponsor us. I pretty much own stock in them anyway.
I don't know if I could get Starbucks to do it. They're kind of really low key. But
yeah, I've had a hard time with them.
I bet you did have a hard time with it.
So yeah, how's this week been? I'll let you check in first today.
Well, I'm still playing Pokemon Go. This time
You're playing Pokemon Go? No
yes,
shit.
I'm still playing Pokemon
Go. Really?
Yes, and what happens is this time I decided to use these apps. There's these apps to show you where the Pokemon are at. And
is that cheating?
Not entirely, because, and I'll tell you why. There's two reasons. Number one, their tracking system on the actual game totally got broken, so you can't track them anymore.
Okay.
They just appear. Number two is they have time limits. So it tells you, say Pikachu shows up. It shows up for 5 minutes. It'll be gone in 5 minutes. So you got to rush to go get it, right? It tells you the location, but usually you're not in that location. And so I find myself sprinting to the location, not walking. And when I first started the game, I'd be walking. This time I was running. I went to Seaside because I looked at the little map and I saw a whole bunch of Pokemons that were not in Portland. So I went to Seaside. I fucking drove to Seaside to take Pokemon. And and so
were they there?
They were there. All the rare ones I didn't have were there. And so what happens is,
so you had to go to the beach to find a rare Pokemon. Is what we're saying.
Yeah, to find some that were not here. And there was one that I get there, and it had like 5 minutes left on the timer. It was a big one. I'm not even sure what it was, and I just didn't have it. So I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm gonna go get it." And I ended up running 12 blocks to get this motherfucker. Now these ain't Portland blocks. Seaside blocks are huge.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and then when I get to the location, it was in someone's backyard, so I almost got a trespassing. I was
dude.
I want that damn thing, but I couldn't figure out where I was at. And then after I got to that point, I got lost. So I'm walking around. I took my shirt off, and I'm walking around in the middle of the night, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, somewhere around there. Half naked, lost in Seaside because I didn't know where.
You got little diamonds everywhere. You run the risk of being recognized running around like that.
Not so much at not so much at like 4 o'clock in the morning, unless they know I'm there. But I really didn't post or tweet anything about it. I did do a video and I did post it afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, so I was just running around chasing these things. So my friend I was supposed to meet up with kind of overslept. So I ended up spending from 1 o'clock to 6 a.m. Pokemon hunting through fucking Seaside, running up and down. And I got some really good ones. Some of my friends back here, they were pissed off because I told them I was going and they could have went, but they said no.
Yeah.
And I have all the rare ones that they want. I guess they're not considered rare, but in this area they're rare. Most people think rare is something legendary, but no, like it was funny. But yeah, so I ended up losing my car. We're chasing a Pokemon, and then a Pokemon got me back to my car because I was chasing another one, but it seemed like they were in different areas. Like I'd go 5 miles this way and then have to come back 5 miles this way, and I was doing this back and forth. So yeah, that was my
wow.
Yes, Pokemon. Yes. But they shut down those sites.
Did they?
Yes, and so now we have no tracking and we have no sites, and so it's kind of boring because.
So is it just to put like you showed me before, like we're here at Pioneer Square. If there's one here, it'll show you. You just kind of have to be.
You just walk around.
You just have to be in a location.
And they just appear now. They don't even come up on your screen sometimes. They just appear. So it's really no. it's very random, and if you see something on your screen, you don't know which direction to run. Like I ran up a hill, Mount Tabor, and then came all the way back down, up and down the hill trying to find it. I could never find it. So I kind of almost
Now,
lost interest.
I saw where the stock market was affected because people bought a bunch of Nintendo stock and it went up, and they found out that Nintendo doesn't actually make Pokemon Go. So who the hell is actually making this game that you love so much if Nintendo is not behind it? Who's in charge of
the
running
Pokemon company.
Okay, so but someone is changing it as they go, like trying to make,
They're adding features and changing
because this
it.
thing is like a runaway train, man. My headlines, have you seen all the headlines I posted?
Yeah,
Some good, some bad, you know.
yeah,
It's
Totally.
crazy.
exactly. Well, it's hard to tell because some say Google's behind it, and let's just find out.
Ryan's checking live right now. My phone's not high tech enough to do internet and the podcast at the same time.
The Pokemon Go.
Just a disclaimer for our listeners: my battery is at 0, so if the show just cuts off, I'm sorry.
Your battery's at 0?
It's at 0.
Fuck you, Brandon.
So if we if we peak
Fuck you,
if we
Brandon.
peak early, haha. If we climax before we're expected to,
Brandon, you were supposed to be ready. God damn it, Brandon. Anyways, let's see. So Nintendo is a parent company. Nintendo's part of it, but there's a company right now, and I really think it's Google. Let me-
Google's behind fucking everything.
Hold on, I'm looking for it. Pokemon.
They're already into all my email.
They're already in your email. That's funny. Yeah. Is it Notel? It's not Notel. Who the fuck makes this game? God damn it. About Pokemon Go.
Well, all I'm saying is if they craft, yeah,
Niantic,
okay.
Niantic, I don't know, Incorporation.
I mean, the stories that I'm reading are
And-
pretty benign. You know, yes, a couple guys fell off a cliff and a body was that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, it's just getting weirder and weirder as it goes. I think we should do a weekly check-in about it pretty often.
So they're American software development company based in San Francisco.
There you go.
All
right.
They have control over it. So maybe Google's not behind it. But Google has, or their Pokemon Go runs off of Google Maps.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Niantic
There you
Labs
go.
and Google are simply, yeah. So Google
Okay.
has a part of it. I told you. Anyways,
So my check-in is all Star Trek. You said I should blow off some steam, so I did. This will kind of double as our entertainment section. So here's the thing. They put all 13 Star Trek movies on a grid, right, Brian? And
Oh,
they
yeah.
basically said from best to worst, highest grossing, blah, 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 all the way back to fucking 1979 Star Trek the Motion Picture. Now you gotta understand, ever since I was like 10 or 11 years old, I've been a diehard Star Trek fan. I've been with it since the first day The Next Generation went on the air, right? Mm-hmm. So it's very hard for this new J.J. Abrams reboot to impress me in any way. So people were trying to tell me, even news articles were trying to say Star Trek Beyond is the best of all of them. It's like better than Star Trek 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it's literally like impossible for me to believe, right? So I went in there with the hype so high, saying this is the best of every Star Trek ever made. And I kind of came out of there with this yawning, like, it's okay. It's like every movie that's got a complicated plot. It's got plot holes so big, you can fly the Enterprise through the plot holes. Like, seriously. Like, it's got a bad guy that's got a backstory that's not there. They give him no explanation. He's just a bad guy. Like, wow. What's he angry about? What's his, you know? So they just want you to suspend your belief and go in and enjoy the movie. Like, no, we're too smart for that. We're not, as a movie, you can make anything, superhero, whatever, but if you've got plot holes this big, it's going to be exposed. So I'm telling you, Star Trek Beyond, for me, gets like 2.5 stars out of 4.
wow.
I thought Star Trek Into Darkness was better, to be honest.
Wow.
But,
2.5 stars?
They don't, this new franchise for me, I'm not a fan of it. Disclosure, so I'm not gonna like them. Anyway, the sad bit, as you know, Chekhov passed away. You know that, right? Anton Yelchin, freak accident, his SUV rolled over him. So
Yeah, that's kind of weird that his SUV.
they're gonna retire his character. They're not gonna kill off his character, but they're gonna retire his character.
How do you retire a character without killing it?
Like Chekhov's on an away mission.
Oh,
Like for the rest of this, he'll be on another ship or something. So,
makes sense, I guess.
but another thing I'm going to do, you can think this is cool or whatnot, but I'm going to start journaling every day. I'm going to start writing in a journal every day, and I literally asked everybody, like, what are the best apps? Should I do a book? Should digital? So I'm kind of exploring that, but yeah, I'm just kind of put my thoughts down every single night now, every single night, starting tonight. This is day one.
That's a little creepy. I could just imagine.
No, what's wrong with journaling? It's not a girly thing. And men do it. There's men in my church that journal every day.
No, but
they don't call it a diary. They call it a journal.
I think you would. I think you would use that as like ranting and get the rage out. And I think it might be a dark and it might be sinister a little bit. I think it's going to be one of those things where you're just going to unleash holy hell.
So, like, in other words, in 6 months when we open it up and I look at it, it'll be like, oh, I don't feel that way anymore. Like looking back at it, yeah.
Which blogs are like that. It's to rant and get everything.
A blog is public though. A journal is private. We're talking unpublished.
An online journal can be not a blog. I mean.